Sebastian Piccioni, and this is F3G2 coming to you live-ish-esque, sort of, from the back of...
Live adjacent?
Yeah, it is. Somewhere within the live city, on the back of Famous Faces and Funny. And hopefully you are watching this. Depends on whether I get home and send an email saying, hey, come the last one didn't go up. Which I had to be told by my cameraman, because once I film it, I'm like one of those actor divas that, you know, I don't watch the thing.
I never watch my own work.
Yeah, I don't watch my own work. It's too much. So I had no idea because I don't pay any damn attention. So I could be talking to nobody right now. Who knows? New Parenthood has claimed another Canadian. It's rough. It's rough up there, trying to raise a baby in the north.
Cold.
I have to teach it English and French. Well, it's complicated. You know?
You got Moose and Yeti up there?
Goo le goo.
Actually, no, wait.
I think French goo is spelled like Gouiessx.
It's Canada.
Pronounced goo.
It's Canada, so not Yeti. They got Wendigo.
Yeah, they have both. All right, All New Ultimates has a very pink cover.
Yes, it
Very
does.
pink indeed. They fight Pepto-Bismol. Now, it's actually really good for a book I've been kind of lukewarm with. Things are starting to pick up. We've got people taking down our heroes and taking them down quickly. And the art, there was a change up in the art. I don't know how permanent, how whatever, but this Elmacar Pina is good. So story-wise, complex. It's weaving around on a bunch of levels, and then for all I know, this is the same art, and it's just growing on me. I don't know. I'm slow that way, but I think it's different. No, it definitely looks different. Or they had a hell of a month before they got to this. You know, Diamondback setting people up. You've got ultimately the ultimate book. It's not just that the team is made up of younger kids. It's just all young. It's the whole Ultimate Universe just feels younger in the wake of everything that happened. I think what this really needs is they need to mix it up a little. And now that Ultimate FF is falling flat and being canceled, I think they should take some of those characters, put them in here, and mix it up a little. Give it, you know, the younger generation standing with some of the old guard, and just kick it up a notch. Earth 2, World's End is complicated.
What number is that? 8?
Yeah, this is number 6 for the weekly. Famine starts wasting away Flash, and Hawk Girl, Dr. Fate shows up, and then goes up. There's a lot going on, but it's. I've always liked Earth 2 in the New 52, and even though they keep shifting writers on me, it's been consistently good. This is actually kind of decompressed, and things seem to be going a lot slower now, but it's a weekly that's happening sort of in real time, so that's good, because like Batman Eternal has been great, but first it was happening after what was going on in the main story, and now the main story has jumped to after it. So first I was like, oh, when is this? You know, wow, when is this going to affect what's going on in the books? And now when are the books going to catch up to this? They're talking about, you know, Bruce Wayne lost money. He hasn't lost it yet. What's happened? So that was, you know, and then the 5 years later thing for Future's End is all stuff that could happen, might happen, most likely won't happen. So this is actually happening right now in Earth 2, so that's a plus right there.
Words?
Hail Hydra! Ultimate Spider-Man. Okay, the fact that they brought Peter Parker back and the Green Goblin back should have seemed like a big deal. The fact that Green Goblin killed the turning over a new leaf nicer to the new Spider-Man, I feel guilty about what I did to the old Spider-Man, J. Jonah Jameson, should have been. And they were. But total spoilers coming. This issue was great. The story hit all the right beats. Bendis is Bendis. Art wise, so solid, so beautiful. Some of the best since Sarah Pacelli left. But Kate Bishop, his girlfriend, until he told her he was Spider-Man, and she like freaked out on him. We find out why she freaked out. She's watching him on the news and worrying about him and crying. And we think it's just over worry, but there's more to her worries. Because as she says goodnight, what did Kate Bishop's parents say to her? Hail Hydra. And she says, Hail Hydra. And cries. Because how do you hail Hydra when your boyfriend is an ultimate? I'm still in shock. World's Finest, Superman, Batman. What? I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's now it's the flashbacky stories telling us. Yeah, look, there's young Clark, and young Bruce, and Wonder Woman is ageless, because Wonder Woman.
Amazon's.
Yep. And they're like, in another world, I'ma hit that. Shut up. She kissed me in the old 52. This ain't the old 52, bitch. That's not at all dialogue from any of this.
It should be.
It's a great Lois Lane moment. It's good. It's Paul Levitt, so you know the story's good. And art-wise, I'm not sure who Jed Darty is, but I like Jed Darty. It's got a kind of Cliff Chang feel, so it mixes the old one, the sensibilities of the New 52 Wonder Woman up till now with the Earth 2 New 52. So it was good. It was good. Batman Eternal. The best part of this whole issue is the fact that spoiler pulls a Batman on Batman. He's in mid-sentence and he turns around and she's gone. Who knew you could do that to Batman? Spoiler did. Spoiler did.
Doesn't happen often.
Spoiler goes toe-to-toe with Hush, who made his appearance on Gotham, the TV show, the other day. It was fun because Hush, I have a friend named Tom Elliott. Tommy's a good friend, but he's irritating as hell. So, it was nice to watch young Bruce Wayne beat the crap out of Tommy Elliott. That was fun. Now I got to watch Spoiler and Batman beat up on Tommy Elliott. Tommy Elliott keeps winning. Clearly it's an alternate Earth. This is not my Tommy Elliott. My Tommy Elliott couldn't take out the Batman. My Tommy Elliott couldn't take out Ambush Bug. My Tommy Elliott couldn't take out... No, let's leave it with Ambush Bug. He couldn't take out...
The Wonder Twins.
I was going to say B'wana Beast. He couldn't...
B'wana Beast can put up a fight.
Fine. He couldn't take out Angel and the Ape. If the ape didn't show up.
There you go.
This story has been so good. I want it now. I went from waiting for the series to catch up to it, waiting for this to, waiting for the series to catch up to it. Now I'm waiting for it to catch up to the series. But it's good. And what's really important is, amongst everything else, they've made Spoiler such a strong character. It is frustrating, I gotta tell you. It's frustrating to watch Batman this outclassed, because the last time I saw Batman make so many mistakes trying to detect anything, he was Christian Bale. But this Batman is still... Christian Bale Batman would have been dead in issue 1 of this. Because this is still Batman bringing his A game. Unfortunately, someone else has invented a new alphabet, and Batman's A means nothing. So, Christian Bale, his Batman never brought a Z game, would have walked in and went, I think my dead girlfriend was still in love with... And it just would have been over. Also, there wouldn't have been an elaborate plot, because all of his villains would have known he's an idiot. We ignore the Batman. That would have been their whole point. They definitely wouldn't have needed this plan. Joker's not a Joker anymore. Joker doesn't joke. Joker should be called the Seriouser, but that's a stupid name. you get the answer to who would win in a fight, Superman or Batman, because Superman asks Batman who would win, and Batman's answer is who would win in a who wins in a fight. The answer is always the same: neither of us, and plummet into the ocean. So you got Jokerized Batman. Jokerized everybody. Bruce is able to work on that. Joker shows up and finds out he's been hiding in plain sight since Batman Annual #2. That's not a full spoiler. You have to look up and do the research. Plus, oh my God, you know what? Do you know what Scott Snyder likes to do lately? Even in the Zero year, we saw it. It took forever, but Scott Snyder likes to. Batman's not the world's greatest detective anymore. Batman is outwitted by Batman's villains have all upped the ante. Batman's still the world's greatest detective. However, he's now fighting the world's even better quarry because they keep upping the game, and it's crazy watching him get out. And it's frustrating because you want Batman to be the best, but you also you want it to be exciting, and they've done great. And Capullo's art, I literally, even if Scott Snyder ever leaves Batman, which will be a heartbreaking day, Capullo better stay, because at this point I can't imagine anyone else. I have a hard time even when I read the other books, and I like the artists on the other books. I like what's going on in Detective. I like Batman and Robin, but oh my God, this is it's weird. Normally you don't see until a run is over. Normally it's in retrospect that we look back and realize which runs were iconic. Jim Apato's Batman was an iconic Batman. Neil Adams' Batman was an iconic Batman. What the heck's his name? I really liked him in the 90s, and I can't remember his name.
Lee?
No. He drew Batman in maybe 80s, I guess. Gravity just did something. But it's usually when you look back that you start to think that's an iconic look. But it's weird because in this moment, I'm aware at the exact moment that this has become an iconic Batman art style. Future's End, more Batman. Batman versus Batman. You get Batman of 5 years in the future versus Terry McGinnis of 15 years in the future. And there's a lot going on. It's still, I'm very touch and go with this. It's a little too, their whole storyline, it's like one of those shared world novels where you skip through certain chapters because you just don't care about those characters. I don't care about 50 Sue. She does nothing for me. So it's problematic there.
The name already makes me not care.
She-Hulk, I'm going to be sad when this ends. Because Marvel just bought out Charles Soule, and now he's not writing the best book he was writing for Marvel. This is so good. It's been Daredevil versus She-Hulk on the legal platform because someone's suing Captain America, and Cap asked both of them to bring their best, hold no punches. There is a great line as they're getting the recap when Cap explains everything. Afterwards,
I really feel shaky for that one.
They ask him as they're walking. They're like, he asks, why did you choose us? And Cap says to Daredevil, he's like, I needed you to go all the way, man. No holding back. I didn't want anyone to say that the lawyer on either side took it easy. And let's face it, you've always been a little bit dark. If anyone could get their head around the idea that maybe I was guilty, I figured it was you. And Daredevil's like, and you picked Jen to represent you? And Cap says, well, sure. I didn't want to lose, And Jen's just like, mm-hmm. So that was good. Pulido's art, beautiful. It's stylized, it's clean, it just has such character.
He's good.
is good. I am good. Spider-Verse was totally not worth the $4.99. I expected this. I guess it's 6 sensational stories. It's apparently the main Spider-Verse event is actually just going to be in Spider-Man. The Spider-Verse book is going to be more of
Also, you look like a child getting caught every time I walk up to you. Really.
just these stories of more alternate Spideys, most of which were meh. However, two stood out really well, and they were both short little pieces. I don't know what's going on with it. There's some stuff I just couldn't read. But one, Moreland does go into the Spider-Man from the old Twinkies ads universe, and Spidey throws the Twinkies at him. He's like, I'm here to destroy you, to feast on you. Yeah? Why don't you feast on these first? And then Moreland ignores them and just grabs Spidey by the... He's like, wait, what are you doing? Those were golden sponge cake! And he just sucks out his life force and calls him the greatest snack of all. That made me laugh. Not as much as this, though. And this had some great Tom Grummett art, and it's just beautiful. Moreland goes black and white and zipatone all over as he goes into the newspaper strip universe, where one of the things I've always hated about news strips defeats Moreland. Newspaper Peter gets to survive because Moreland is frustrated that every panel is like a different week. It's a different day of the daily panel, and every panel has every strip, the same first panel. Because this first panel is a repeat of what just happened. And Moreland's like, wait, I told you, I'm Moreland, I'm here to... Wait, you've said that before. And Moreland's just like, wait, why do you keep repeating yourself? Are you brain damaged? Is there no short-term memory in this dimension? And then finally he's like, that's it. In this world it takes days to perform the simplest actions, weeks even. And then he just leaves. And he gets pulled out of there, and they're like, yeah, this reality is the Weavers is this one act of my... This shall be my one and only act of my rebellion, to take this pure, innocent world and place it aside in its own pocket reality, forever safe from the dangers of the Spider-Verse. So, the newspaper strip, which has its own continuity and is its own separate animal, basically...
Just, nope, not dealing with it.
Within the cosmos of how Marvel Spider-Verse would possibly work, basically this was Dan Slott saying, deferring to the wisdom of his own spider sense and going, yeah, I'm not going to kill the one Peter Parker that Stan Lee still writes. I leave this untouched. And he scuttled back into his web. Which is nice. And smart, well put. Django Zorro, #1. The Vertigo Dynamite team-up that you never expected is here. And it's good. It's Django being at his Djangoiest. Zorro being a little older. It's written by Quentin Tarantino and Matt Wagner. I just wanted to say that out loud. And this is written by Quentin Tarantino and Matt Wagner. That's a team-up right there. It's drawn by Esteve Pauls. Esteve. And it's good. And the best is, Zorro's older, and Django keeps doing all these things, and Django's like, you really remind me of someone. Or you can all just assume he means a certain friend of his that is no longer amongst the living. So it was just good and lots of fun. Captain America and the Mighty Avengers let me down.
This is Sam, right?
This is #1. It's the Sam Cap, because Sam Wilson is one of my favorite characters, and the Marvel movies just made him the single most relatable and likable character in the entire Marvel cinema verse.
As Falcon.
And don't forget all that. The problem is this is Axis him, so he's been inverted, and he is just this. It's like the Punisher dressed as a mashup between Cap and the Falcon. He's not. He's just a dick, and you've got like businessman, borderline criminal, Luke Cage, and Luke just tears into Spidey. And it's like they gave me all the right ingredients. My favorite characters leading my favorite Avengers team, and they messed it all up. So
Didn't cook it right.
yeah, so fuck you, Axis. Helheim, Brides of Helheim, number 2, Cullen Bunn and Joelle Jones. Oh my god. Undead Viking versus wizard with witches in the background, and what else do you need to, it's so good. Get the first trade, read it, fall in love, get this one. Brilliant, expressive, moody art meets Cullen Bunn's even, it's Cullen Bunniest, Cullen Bunn. You know, I love Cullen Bunn. We all know this. You've seen the show before. What else can I tell you? First trade. Hobgoblin is so great because he's like an anti-Robin Hood. Robin Hood steals from people and does, you know, the wrong thing for all the right reasons. He's doing the right thing for all like the wrong reasons. He's a hero, but he's constantly shilling all of his everlasting hobstoppers. The flavor never ends. It's just so good. And so
a hint of Deadpool.
there's that guy called Leather Boy who takes his own ball gag and puts it on other people. You know, it's good. And there's some interesting stuff going on with some other characters. I won't reveal. But Estrella bien. Guardians 3000 is good. It's Abnett on Guardians, the original Guardians. That makes me happy. But due to time shift in the plot line, they're almost like Starhawk started out as the Starhawk you see here on the cover, but they all get killed. There's a time shift. They all start over. They're reliving the same moment. Only one girl knows that there's this time shift happening, so she ends up helping them out. But in the redone time, in the new timeline, Starhawk is suddenly a girl, and only the other girl remembers. You know, you're supposed to be a man. She's like, no, you've always been a girl. So once again, I'm given the characters I wanted, and not at the same time. But story-wise, it's good. You know, art is a bit cramped. The art is very. There's a lot of lines and a lot of stuff and a lot thrown into it. It's just, I don't know. It's not.
He's busy.
It is, yeah. It's busy and kind of cluttered and kind of overpowering. Big Trouble in Little China. Why do I even need to review this for you? It's Big Trouble in Little China number 6.
Read it.
And you need to read this. And there's some great lines as always, and we get kind of a road trip of. As Jack and they're off on that. There's 2 road trips going on. One within the mystical realms and one within the not so mystic realms. The mystic realms are being flooded with the mundane, sort of. There's more of a down to earth story happening in the mystic realms, and in the mundane everyday earth there's mysticism happening. So there's a little juxtapositioning going. If I had to pick a favorite book of the week, it's issue number 4 of Michael Allen Nelson and Dan Mora's Hexed. I love this character. You should all read this character. The art is gorgeous on this. All right, the colors by Gabriel Casada, beautiful. I'm not always, sure what all the colors are because my color scope is limited.
But they're pretty.
It's bright, and whatever colors they are, they work really well for it. And it's, she wears this red dress at one point, and the red, it like burns into your corneas. It's beautiful. If you like supernatural kind of things, if you like if the idea of like what if Buffy and Constantine had a daughter appealed to you, then that's Lucifer. That's the main character from Hex. Read that. Outcast, really good. Number 5. There you go. It's everything you want from a Kirkman book. I don't even know. The story is it feels like and the suspense is there. You know, there's moments where you think okay, and then it doesn't go the way that they expect, and and the art really brings that out too. Paul Azaceta and colors by Elizabeth Breitweiser. The tone and the mood is so strong, and it's just so good. You should read that. Axis.
Moving on.
There's some great Spidey dialogue in here, and Spidey and Nova have this great moment. They're the only Avengers to get away as the Axis-shifted Avengers, inverted heroes and villains. The inverted heroes are New Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Thor, Luke Cage, Medusa, and Hulk Claw. Also, they've inverted Wasp, Havoc, Genesis, who's now Apocalypse, Cyclops, Storm, Nightcrawler, Sunfire, Rogue, and I guess Magneto is technically inverted, but I guess that means he really was a villain underneath because he's been acting more and more heroic. But the rest of the Avengers are kind of taken down, and the only ones left standing are Spidey and Nova. But there's some great lines as Spidey kind of hazes Nova and then bumps into, they start picking on Hawkeye, and Spidey's like making fun of his costume. He's like, we throw great costume parties, and he's like, we try not to think about the fact that we're all wearing bright, frilly outfits. It's kind of weird. And Nova's like, I love the costume. He's like, yeah, you're like 13. You're supposed to. He goes, but we're grown-ups. He goes, but take that dude right here, for example. Hawkeye's like 36 and dressed in a purple jumper. And Hawkeye's like, said the loudmouth man-child in the bright red leotard. And Spidey's like, costume envy. His changes every few years, while my leotard remains timeless. And it's just perfect. And then there's a great little Spidey Nova team up, and then the even more odd team up of Cap, his son, the new old man Cap, his son, the new Nomad, and Magneto. They have teamed with Spidey and Nova as the last bastion of heroes making a stand. Superior Iron Man was actually for the I've been given Axis its shit. This one's slightly different than the rest of those because apparently Tony became a dick when he got inverted in the Axis book. According to this takes place afterwards, and the rest of the heroes have apparently been restored to normal, so they will be. But Tony managed to get away from the restoration process and is still a dick. And Yildiz on here on the artwork. Where's the? But it's good. It caught me. It held me. And I'm intrigued. There's a last page thing that makes me go, what is going on? Yeah, and it's Yildiz Sonar is just gorgeous on art. This is really good. All right, I'll give Axis a lot of shit. This is really good.
So far.
Yeah, for the one issue, it grabbed me. It's superior. It's ironic because Tony's totally not superior. He's a total douche. But and not by his usual douche standards.
It's not charming.
Yeah, this is less charming. Rapscallion and more. What a dick. Thor. It's okay. I liked the first issue. Was curious where it's going. Second issue really just seems like standard stuff, but with but Thor is a girl. So that's both good and bad. It just shows it's business as usual with it, it's not the biggest deal that there's a different person in there, but at the same time, it's just business as usual. So I really kind of wanted more of a, I don't know. I mean, it's only
Okay.
issue number 2, so we can give it some time, see if it takes its own stamp on things. But so far, not so much. Captain Marvel. Oh my God, I love this book. Killer Pseudoconic just does great. They end up on a planet with it's Captain Marvel and Tick team up with Lila Cheney of the teleporting rock and roll mutant, interstellar mutant pop star that formerly dated what's his face, Cannonball, is now lost in space with them, and they end up on a planet. They're not really lost. They end up on a planet where everyone speaks in rhyme. It's a custom, so they have to do it, and the whole issue rhymes, and it's brilliant. It's so well done. Callisto DeConnick is just knocking it out of the park. She's far and away one of my favorite writers at the moment. David Lopez art, beautiful, gorgeous book. Read that. Captain America #1. This is kind of accessed. This is actually, I don't remember if this is even accessed. This is Cap and his new Nomad, and it seems to be far enough removed. Yeah, this is the opposite. This was good. I remember now. It takes me a minute. Sam acts like Sam in this. In this, it's I grew up in a hellish dimension Nomad who's not so good, and hopefully the character that it looks like he threw to his death doesn't be thrown to his death, because he is one of my favorite characters.
Really?
I want.
He's back, huh?
I don't feel I am spoiling too much to tell you that this is well. If you really want to guess who the character is, I'm sure you could make a leap.
Not subtle, not clever.
Batgirl number 36 is good, but is not doing it for me. The art is gorgeous, okay, and the story is well done, but the tone is so far removed from Batgirl that I'm still having a hard time making that. It feels like there's a step in between where the other Batgirl, where Gail Simone's Batgirl run ended, and getting to this that we just don't have, especially with right now with all the tie-ins to everything in Batman Eternal. We don't see. It's almost like this is its own pocket universe. Like this is part of the upcoming convergence or something. It's almost out of sync. And I still say this would have been great with a Stephanie Brown Batgirl, but trying to wrap my head around this is Babs now doesn't quite. There's a disconnect there. Copperhead, so good. The mystery thickens. I love the art. I love the story. The art and the story. It's great when you just get something that suits it, and this gives it that great feel of it's alien yet familiar at the same time, and the art really helps that. And there are a lot of panels of just expression or just like scenery, but it's storytelling. It's visual storytelling at its best, and this is Jay Farber and Scott Godlewski, and it's good. I don't know what else to say. Nightcrawler. I want to like this book so much more than I do. It's Nightcrawler, and it's Todd Knock, and that's a wonderful combo.
Still lost in time.
Yeah, it's still like so anachronistic. This character that was introduced in the previous storyline shows up and is already just macking on Nightcrawler, and he's like, "Oh, we'll see what this goes." It's like you just lost the on and off again love of your life again, and you're just whatever. It even starts off after that whole that whole I said last issue was like the best issue story wise, and a lot of that I think was Marguerite Bennett. It turns out because she's not on this one, and it goes back to, as it were. Plus, this character that looks like Silver Sable as reimagined for Wildstorm is one of these space pirates called Bloody Bess. And I do like this like scorpion bug duck face kid, but I don't know. I'm not sure how much longer I can justify. There's just something. It's the right. It's it's Claremont. It's missing something. Like a sense of really belongs in any of the current Marvel universe is what it's missing. Suicide Squad number 4 was good. It's like everybody versus Deathstroke, and the best part of all the DC books though has been this week has been this picture. Just look at the Justice League in the future. We're gonna have Beetle, Booster, Fire, and Ice. It's just like its own separate.
It's a homecoming.
Giffen Dimities. This is the Bwahaha verse, and it's been look at it, and look, the Flash is over here because they've got her Flash's powers mixed in her body and whatever. So you're like, oh, that's beautiful. But back to this, the art was really good. Although oddly, the art was great on everything except Deathstroke. Deathstroke kept looking kind of weirdly bulky. It's just I don't know if there's something about trying to draw that armor, but for some reason Deathstroke.
No, they didn't get the proportions right.
Everybody else is, but the proportion on Deathstroke always just seems to fall off. And then Black Manta is just a great team lead. Kind of come in out of left field and join the team, but he's like the only one who really has his head in the game and knows what's worth doing. And it was just good. It took. How would Deadshot fare in a fight versus Deathstroke? Horribly. But the only way he's going to get out is if he's got Harley and Black Manta, on his side. And even then, they're not getting out in a "yay, we won." They're getting out in "oh my God, we're still alive." It's but they get out.
It's a miracle.
Justice League United number 6. Continues to be good, not great, but the Legion's there, and I'm very happy with. Here you go, semi-spoiler. It's teaming up with the Legion, so this is bound to happen. They're like, no need for panic. I've already sent reinforcements. What are you talking about? He goes, you see, Martian Manhunter, the Legion has its own away team already trapped in this time period. I've rallied them. I've called in the Legion Lost, and there they are. There's the Legion Lost. So that's good. Because I was wondering where the heck they've been all this time. And there they are. So I'm happy with that. Trade time. Invincible Volume 20. Friends. Oh my God. I mean, there are lots of comic events that get kind of bloody, but Robots Takeover gets really bloody. And then, here you go. Spoiler in 3, 2, 1. If you have, well, it's only a spoiler if you haven't been reading Invincible. Because I read them in trade, so I'm behind. But they're supposed to be, the Viltrumites are supposed to be repopulating the world. She has her eyes set on him and not mixing with a human. He's like, look, I've got a baby on the way with Adam Eve. I'm off the she just all out beats the crap out of him and rapes him, and then leaves saying, it'll probably take a few times. I'll see you soon. And he's like, he flinches now when girls touch him. He's
Damn.
this is so the kind of stuff that proves, like, it doesn't say it on the trades, but on the regular Invincible comics, it says the only superhero comic you'll ever need, and it's true, because there's so much room to do things that could never be done in other books. A lot of my favorite characters bite it in this, or at least appear to, but it's Invincible. When people die, they tend to be dead. A lot of them that even don't die are probably not thrilled about their current condition. And then the ending gives the ultimate twist that you didn't see coming, even without a big, you think you're going to get this big, typical, all-out last-ditch fight that ends with our hero triumphant, but instead it becomes kind of a talk of how futile all of this is, and Robot wins. Robot wins. This is the greatest, there's not enough to be said about Kirkman and Otley on this book. It's perfect. It really is the perfect superhero book. Read all 20 volumes. I buy it in trade because I caught on late, and then it was just, at that point I was like, I have all the trades, why bother going to the individuals now? I don't think I could read, Invincible is too good. I couldn't read it in individual form at this point. I need to read a story arc and then go nuts as soon as it's over, waiting for, oh my god, when do I have to wait for the next, when does volume 21 come out? It's just so good. And then real books. Soda Pop Soldier by Nick Cole. This is the guy who wrote the Wasteland Saga. I reviewed that a while ago. This is so good. This is a future in which gaming, here you go, filmer of mine, this is the world you want to live in. Gaming has become a legitimate business because at this point wars are fought in virtual reality, but they're not fought for what we fight wars for. They're fought for the winner. Corporations hire professional gamers to be their soldiers, and and when they win, the fights are for ad space. So you can fight out a war in the game for to have a year's contract of your ads go all over Times Square on all the the digital boards and whatever. And our boy works for
So the future we're heading toward, if the zombie apocalypse doesn't happen.
yeah, no, forget the zombie apocalypse. Our boy works for Colacore, who is fighting Wondersoft for ad space. He's also having troubles at home and money problems, so he plays in a game called The Black. The Black is an illegal underground game where gamers fight out to the dead, and all sorts of sick, twisted perversions. You can get paid money for doing horrible things in there. He actually wants to win it, and he ends up playing the samurai within the game, and he's compared to a samurai because he's got a samurai's heart. He's going to do the right thing even at cost to himself, and it's just so good. It's like it's part like Chuck Palahniuk, however you say his name, the guy that writes like Joke and Fight Club and all of that, meets like Philip K. Dick, or Robert Heinlein in a pop culture extravaganza. It was just so good. I love this book. I read it slowly because this is one of those books where the further I got into it, I didn't want it to end. This is so good. And even the character, we get a name for him that may or may not be his name, but we get everybody goes by their names on the their
gamer tag,
gamer tags, and our guy is called Perfect Question, and it's so not heavy-handed, but so obviously meta in the fact that he's questioning everything in his life, and why am I doing this, and what do I want out of life, and he's got the perfect question. The book is him finding answers, and it is so good, so good. Go run to Barnes and Noble, $14.99 for the trade, just this trade size book. Go read this. All right, I miss you already into it.